She's going to tell us about how she got in the hospitality industry. Hope you guys are well. Happy Monday. And before I even forget about it, because I tend to forget this, happy Thanksgiving. I know it's only Monday, but, I may forget. And you guys may not see me, between now and then. So happy Thanksgiving and hope everybody has a great week leading up into that day. Well, today we have Miss Kisha Stone. I want to thank you so much for coming on with us, Kisha.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
now, you and I have not met in person before, right?
No, we have not.
Okay. See, so basically, I've admired what she does, right? So I look at some of the events that she's done, and how I even got to that point is that we're both on Instagram, and I happen to see her coming onto my lives, right? And I would see her. She never came on, we never did an interview or anything like that or a conversation, but I would see that she would come in. I would always acknowledge that she was there. And then so I took that and started looking at her Instagram feed or her pages and all that kind of stuff and saw what she did, right? And saw that she was in the same space. So that's why I said, hey, let's have her come on and tell her story. So I know nothing about her story at this point. Okay. So
Okay.
when you guys figure it out, I'm going to figure it out at the same time. So, but no, I want to thank Kisha Stone for coming on. So, Ms. Stone, the whole world wants to know because this is all over the world. It's not just here in the United States. I know you're in Indianapolis. I'm in LA. It's not just here nationally. This is internationally. This is global. People want to know this. Did you choose hospitality or did hospitality choose you?
It's a little of both to answer your question. Hospitality chose me definitely at first, but then I had to choose it back because I started planning different things when I was a kid. Like was always the organizer of like what my cousins and I would do, and then like with the local Boys and Girls Club and things like that. So I made a career. I made my let's see. I went to IUPUI and I didn't know there was a program like hospitality. So I was in social work. I didn't like it, and she was like, "Well, what do you like to do?" I told her, and she was like, "Well, we have one of the best tourism conventions event management programs, so you might need to try that." So that's why I say it's a little bit of both.
Interesting. Interesting. Now, IUTY stands for.
IUPUI, Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis.
Oh, okay. So you threw that out there like it was like UCLA or USC. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm in LA. I understand that, right? But you threw something out there. I'm like, what is she saying? What does that even mean? So okay. So you went to school there, and then you basically entrenched yourself in the program. And what was your first coming out of school? What was your first job?
My first job was at the Hilton Hotel.
Okay.
I started in the banquets department as a assistant manager, and then at the same time I worked at Lucas Oil Stadium and
Okay.
with the catering department there.
Wow. Okay. So Lucas Oil, that's where the Colts play, correct? Or do they still play
Yes,
there? Okay.
yeah, the
Okay.
Colts play
Okay.
there.
Okay. So you did events there, right?
Yes,
Okay. So you went from school to work for the Hilton, but you did work in events there, and then from there Lucas Oil. And then when did you get this bug to say, I'm gonna do this on my own, or do you do this on your own now? Correct. What's the transition from there to where you are now?
so I always knew that I wanted to
Hmm.
work on my own. Like I said, I didn't know what it looked like,
Hmm.
but I started in the catering department. I then transferred to the sales and catering, so more of the office versus like the operation on the floor, where I learned the contracts. So I kind of tailored my career like that. I switched from, and then I stayed at Lucas Oil Stadium. Like that's just game days and special events.
Okay.
So it wasn't full time, just a part time job while I was at the hotel. And then I had a friend call me, and she was working at a general contractor. So I then start organizing within a small general contractor. They're basically the conventions like the trade show. So I started coordinating with all of the exhibitors, just to move in and move out of different shows throughout the Midwest territory.
Wow. So it wasn't just like local. It was throughout Midwest.
And then I ended up, that's when I had to leave the stadium because my travel schedule got a little more complex
Oh
where I
wow. So
couldn't make the
you
games
okay?
anymore.
So see, I'm finding out so much here now. Okay, so it's not just local. You will go wherever the whatever the job is, right?
Yes, if it was within the my territory, which was the Midwest territory, then because all most of the shows traveled with the clients.
Okay.
So we had different branches, but our headquarters was in Atlanta. We had a major show here that they opened a branch here and they bought the company I was working with.
Okay.
And then I got transferred into a larger company, which required me to travel more.
Okay. Well, now was this did this take on I guess a world of its own? Was it something that it was this? Did you know that this job that you took entailed all this travel and all that, or were you prepared for it?
So I had a job right out of college that was 100% travel. So I
Okay.
like to travel. But then the bigger company, no. But since it was a new branch, we were understaffed. So I traveled a lot because it was basically just me for a couple of years.
Okay. Wow. A
And
couple of years.
basically just me for a couple of years.
Wow. Okay. 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 And then how'd you transition from there to doing stone events, or where did stone events fit into this? Or were you always doing a little bit of stone events while you were doing that, or did you just like I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna jump in, I'm gonna start my own thing? How did that come to pass?
So when I was at the Hilton, I started Stone Events and Promotions, and it was just a way to brand myself when I was working on different events, like outside of the Hilton,
Okay.
because I knew that I wanted to go into business for myself. I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know what it looked like, but I knew that I liked the promotional side of the event, and I wanted to use my name, so that's why I named it like that. And then all my jobs kind of just all the experience kind of just fell into what my business became. And
Hmm.
then I got there because of the pandemic. I've been wanting to leave that job because I was ready to make that step. But then when you hire people and bring people in under you and you start to build this team, I became loyal to them.
Hmm.
And then like it was just that push that was like, okay, now it's time to move
Wow.
on.
Okay. Okay. And you said the push was the pandemic.
Yeah. So our branch had to shut down because we didn't have any work.
Okay. Okay. So from that point, you just what did you do? Okay, give me the blueprint. Like, okay, when you weren't able to work with the other company, so you knew you had to put 100% into this. So, but you weren't doing events either. So, what did you do to, I guess, lay that groundwork to like when people went back to events, they would know to contact you, or they knew that your company even existed.
Everybody was at home. Everybody was on Clubhouse.
Okay. Okay.
So getting into those rooms, start meeting people, asking them, do they want to, what we call like coffee, but we're both at home, like, and
Mhm.
just get to
Mhm.
know each other and network from there. So I just started getting online and connecting with different people.
Wow. Okay. And see, it, people sleep on social media a lot, and I was one of those Clubhouse people too. In fact, I met a lot of people on Clubhouse that I still keep in contact with today, and we've done collaborations, we've done all kind of things, and these are people that I've met throughout the world, right? And there's no other way I would have met them other than through some type of social media platform, and Clubhouse was one of those new things. And for people that don't know, Clubhouse was an audio or is an audio uh, uh, social media platform. So audio only. You don't. In fact, I hope I think it's still audio only. I haven't been on it in a while, right? It's still audio, right? Correct.
Yeah, I don't really get on there. I don't think anybody in the events actually gets on there much anymore, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, but during the pandemic, everybody was on it. At least I was, I know, and I met so many people. And like I said, I have contacts from there. But getting back to social media, okay, so getting your brand out there, getting the word out there. Could you have thought of any other way to get your brand out at that time? What would you have done if there was no social media? And it's probably a trick question.
No, I go to a lot of networking events and just stay out and like, you'll find the free events on Eventbrite. Like
Hmm.
You never know who you're going to meet at any of those events. So sometimes I just go to different events that I would hear about. I mean, and
Okay.
then meet somebody.
Okay. So it's so if you're not on social media, you need to get out and see people. But during the pandemic, no, there was no events were happening, so you had to, unless there was Eventbrite and they're doing all Zoom related things or whatever. And because I got I started doing those as well. So, some organizations they weren't meeting in person, but they were meeting on Zoom. They're meeting via Zoom, and they're doing free Zoom, whatever, networking or coffee, if whatever the heck they were calling it, cocktails with this organization and that organization, where you have your cocktail, everyone has theirs, and you're on this with like 30, 40 other people. So, but yeah, but and I don't know. I mean, this is. I'm just gonna say for me personally, if it wasn't for social media, people wouldn't know who the heck Russell of Hotels was. I mean, I can say that now because the I guess at my heyday was during the pandemic. That's when people started to know who I was because I couldn't go anywhere else. But how else could you reach people around the world other than social media?
I mean,
And
and that includes like LinkedIn too. I think like I've met most of my contracts have come from LinkedIn, just networking with people. When they DM
exactly.
you, you DM them back and then connect with them. Do the meet and greet.
Hmm.
They'll ask you like, hey, do you want to just meet really quick? And I would always do it. And then sometimes down the line that brings something.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. See, this is all good. This is all good. Okay. So now you're got Stone events. Things are going well. You staying busy?
I mean, I'm as busy as I want to be right now. Like
Okay.
this was my first year, like a full year being
Okay.
out, and there's events going on the full year. Just because like what events didn't come back to Indy until June 2021, I think was our first event
Okay.
back here. So
Okay.
yeah, so I'm
So
just now getting into like a full year of doing it, and so I've been taking my time. I wanted to tailor my services
okay.
exactly, and now I think that I have it all, and I'm ready to go full force 2023.
Wow. Very good. Okay. So what is that? Everybody always wants to know what is that sweet spot for you. I mean, meaning what is that ideal customer or client for you?
So I like to work with small businesses within the industry. As a freelancer and just coming in and helping them when they have a large project where they don't need full-time employees, but they
Mhm.
already know how to plan events. So it's not like you're working with someone, say on a social event, and it's a person that doesn't know how to plan, or it's a company and they don't know. It's like I'm working with all professionals. So it's a sweet spot because they tell me exactly what they need. And then, I'm just able to go up and fill in the gaps with the assignment.
Hmm. Okay. Very good. Very good. All right. So I got one more question for you. What advice would you give someone coming into the hospitality industry?
Two, don't be afraid to fail because the event's not going to be perfect. Just plan it the best that you can and have like everything done on the front end going into the event. So then when something changes, you are not going to be overwhelmed and you'll be able to like think on your feet and, make the adjustments that as you need. I think a lot of people get overwhelmed. Like if their first event doesn't go exactly how they thought it was going to go. And then sometimes they're like, oh, this isn't for me. And it's like, no, keep going. You're going to have that all the time, but it's just how you adjust.
Hmm. I like that. I like that. So no, I like that. No, I can't say anything else about that. That no, I love that. I love that. How can people get a hold of you? So if someone wants to get a hold of you and are you still limited to, not say limited, but you only work in the greater Midwest area or Indianapolis area?
No, I work wherever the event takes me. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
So
so
you're so
no,
you're you're global. If you need to be global, you'll be global. If you need to be
yeah,
nationally, you're nationally. Okay. All
yeah.
right. All right. So how will somebody get a hold of you?
Probably the best way to get a hold of me would be LinkedIn.
Okay. All right. LinkedIn is it. LinkedIn is it. And in fact, that's how you and I have been communicating for the last week up until this point. So, but yeah, this is cool. But okay. But thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. Once again, Miss Kisha Stone with Stone Events and Promotions, located in Indianapolis, Indiana, right? So it's a full service um, um, event planning organization, full service. Would you say that?
Day of event management, administrative support, and then event management service. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, let me just throw this out here. So okay, let's just say I have an event, right? I do the hotel site selection, right? But I don't manage the events, right? Let's just say there's 650 people coming to this event. We've already planned the meeting space and all that stuff, but I don't want to manage it, or I don't. My expertise is not in managing an event, so I can contract you out to come in and take care of that for me.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Like, yeah,
see,
like you have your plan. We'll go over it prior to the event, and then
yeah.
I can execute it on site.
Okay, yeah. So from BEOs to all that to make sure times are, everything is served when it's supposed to be, and maybe even registration or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay, see,
Coordinate.
that's what I need, right? So there you go. So I know how you and I can possibly work together as well, because I do that as well. I mean, yeah, I'm this hospitality personality and I do all these shows and all that, but the real meat of what I do is I'm a hotel site selection person. So I have a hotel site selection company, and that's what I do. I just don't manage the events. So if it's too big, I have to bring somebody else in to assist me with that. So see, this is good to know. And like I said, I didn't know when we did this. This is kind of like sight unseen, because I didn't know Kisha personally. I knew her from the internet, but of course, through the internet you can get bits and pieces of information. And this is kind of a fact find, not just for everyone else that's interested in what she does, but it was for me too, because I didn't know exactly everything she did. So now I know. So now I'm good. So anyway, but thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
So now we know that there's a little bit of both. Part of it she chose, and part of hospitality sucked her back in, right? So there you go. But please feel free to make sure you guys listen to this in its entirety. Once again, it's live on LinkedIn as well as live on YouTube as well. So thank you again, Ms. Kisha. I appreciate it. You guys, you have a great day, and happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the holiday.
All right. Take care. Bye.